hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter, right? Turn it up, we giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Gentlemen. When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, passing your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin, subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years, so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We install doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the ground. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. We're leaving the kings of all crowns. So are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter, right? Turn it up, y'all keep the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all keep the flow.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Just a short time ago, smoke from the pyrotechnics filled the dome as the Colts made their way out of the locker room. We're set for football as the Colts get set to match up with the Houston Texans. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports.
Check out. 675.
Now a first down throw. Love. Looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. I'm not sure exactly what they had planned for play number 1 from scrimmage, but I can guarantee it wasn't that interception.
No doubt about that one, because in their daydream, this was going to be a dream play to get things started. Instead, it turned into a nightmare for them.
Miller with first down and more. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Miller, his 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Not the start that they were hoping for. The interception on the first play of the game. It leads to 6 points the other way. How do you rebound from here?
Yeah, a little bit of humor. Got to laugh that one off and not the ha-ha. That was very funny.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. J.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. But now it's 3rd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down.
Hey, Zoo.
From his goal line here, Locke. incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
34 yards there and a first down. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
That's just me and you. That's just me and you. Check nickel, nickel, nickel. Check 59. Check 54.
Out of the gun, Watson. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Give the sack to Kemoko Turay. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The former number 1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13.
Check, 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 check. Check, check. On.
Back to throw. Love. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
They get the first. The decision to run on 3rd and medium winds up being a good one. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. Here's Hines. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Well, that was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the second spot pretty soon. Luck and the Colts looking for something big here after the sack. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Love. Looking deep here for Ebron. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The Colts with a first red zone opportunity of the ball game. They've got a 1st and goal just inside the 5. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out, and the Texans scoop it. And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. Past the 20. 10. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through it, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Can this defense hold them out? Here we go now. 4th and goal from the 2. Here we go on 4th. Lock. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Whitney merciless. And this Texans defense comes up with a goal line stand. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Watson. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. Give him 32 on the play.
But we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
He's brought down there by Kenny Moore. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. To throw is Watson. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked by, and now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And, partner, I know hindsight's always 20/20, but, man, just in general, those laterals, they can be so risky, and we see the risk that can be involved right there.
And you just have to know, and we've seen it because we've been in a lot of practices. It's not something that's practiced very often. You know, in that situation, you don't see guys really working on it. Maybe like we're bringing the rugby guys in to help us with tackling, maybe we ask them to help us with the laterals as well and make that a better play. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So now they operate back from their side of the field here, 2nd and long. They'll try the air now with Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Pierre Desir.
And that's now the 2nd time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
11.
After the interception, it's Long. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Locke. Ebron with it over the middle. Now he's into the clear. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Eric Ebron, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Maybe that is the boost that this offense needed.
They've done nothing the entire half, but out of the blue comes this big shot here. You're exactly right. Like a dunk in basketball, like a home run in baseball, maybe a solo shot. Sometimes you need that big play to get things ignited.
Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT, and that'll make our score 14-7. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no? You just, the Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Jabal Sheard able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Watson with a give to Miller. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Well, it looks like they caught him off guard on 2nd and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters and doing things opposite the grain, and that worked very well for them. Picked up really nice yardage, but they still have a lot of work to do on 3rd down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Under pressure now. Watson, and down he goes.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Check 24, check 24. Space, check.
A shotgun snap for Love. That's complete to the running back, Nyheim Hines. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 22 yards there, a 1st down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, make him make...
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Whitney merciless in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, 14-7. We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now on 2nd and 16. Luck looking deep here for Ebron. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
Dancing to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he'll be stopped short of the 1st down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. Able to pick up a dozen yards there on the scramble, but not enough. 4th down. So with 4th down coming up, here's Adam Vinatieri now for the Colts field goal. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And his kick is absolutely perfect. Vinatieri, the NFL's oldest active player, also the league's all-time leading scorer, past Morton Anderson last year.
Yeah, he turned 46 in December of 2018. He really can't see it in his leg. Maybe in the beard.
You can see it in the beard.
Maybe in the beard. That's about it. But as long as he's booting them the way he's booting them, keep going, big guy.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by the linebacker Mason Foster. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 25 yards that time. 6-yard line.
Look out! 280! Check 55 to Mike. 11 Z. Tight down. There you go. Mike, 55. Ready.
Here's Love. For the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Now Love. And he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Andrew Luck with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Colts have taken the lead. Vinatieri connecting on the extra point, and it's now 17-14. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
95%. No, check his mic. You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid of me.
From the gun, here's Watson. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Back to throw, Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Watson. And now he'll let this one go deep, back over the middle. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. Flushed it right. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. They moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 27 yards there, a first down.
27 on the play. And the Texans first down.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10, right at the 40. From the gun, Watson. And this one grabbed by Darren Fells. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of 34. The previous play, big on the ground. That one big through the air. Things have jumped up quickly.
Certainly appears that whatever their thought process is on the defensive side of the ball, they're one play behind. You know, loaded up for the pass, they hit them with the run. Load up for the run, they hit them with the pass. They've got to get in sync.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal at the 6-yard line.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Watson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
The kick by Fairbairn is good. No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. I'll guarantee you Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use him a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
Ready! This is game situation. Let's go. 41 Mike. 41 Mike.
Now on 2nd and 16. Luck. Left side, Doyle with it. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
The coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Lock. Got an open man. That's Campbell. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
So it wasn't the line that jumped that time, the second level.
No, that's a great observation because most of the time it's those guys up front so eager to get off on the snap. They do it, but in this case, you're exactly right. Second level, probably because they moved up to the first level, and that hurts them.
From the 50, it's long. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Monday. 6-6.
Again, Locke. On the right side, it's Hilton with a catch. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. Luck going to bring him up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. From the red zone now, Luck. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Go! Ready! It's our field. It's our field. Hey, it's our house. Check. Line 40, easy.
Now a give, right side. It's Hines. And this Texans defense, they're all charged up now. They stopped him behind the line for the 2nd straight play.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Ebron caught left side. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down.
What is it? Mark 55. Hey, tight. Watch with it.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. A 33-yarder from the left hash. Vinatieri's kick is good. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. And they don't get a touchdown here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Miller. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Back now in Indianapolis. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. In 2018, Deshaun Watson had 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. Only Drew Brees of the Saints had more with 6. Now on 2nd and 13. Watson is going to fire one deep over the middle. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked by Pierre Desir. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Here's a handoff to Hines to begin the drive. Tackle made by Whitney Mercilus. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Well, this is Hilton on the receiving end, and they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. It's an end around, Hilton. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be a 2nd and long. From the gun, here's Locke. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Jadeveon Clowney, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Luck and the Colts looking for something big here after the sack. This is 3rd and long.
11. Hey, Foxtrot. Kill. Hey, turn it up. Switch it. Come on, switch it. Right.
Here's Locke. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. J.J. Watt racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. In on the stop, Mason Foster, who was 7th in the NFL in tackles a year ago.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
95 is the same. No, check his mic. 3 bud.
On 2nd and 7, Watson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun, Watson. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. Instead, it's incomplete. Boy, that really could have turned this one upside down. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
95, Mike, what, 95? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Another time, Adam, go.
Here we go on 4th. Watson, he's going to rifle one deep left side. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Texans have retaken the lead. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
Let's go.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Hey, Charlie. Mike's 50, Mike's 50. You ain't going nowhere.
Luck now to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his running back, Nyheim Hines. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing is Locke. And this one complete right side to Funchess. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Devin Funchess, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Colts are once again going to retake the lead. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT, and that gives him a 3-point lead. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. After the penalty, it's Miller. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Darius Leonard, last year's leading tackler as a rookie in the NFL, in on the stop.
2nd down at the 45-yard line.
This is it. Like any egg. Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
Again, it's Miller. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Danico Autry is in on the stop. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
It's now 4th down
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Malik Hooker. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? As this guy
Funchess is free. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Devin Funchess. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. They do tack on the extra point as well. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, 76 yards, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Important extra point up and through. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. This is going to be taken in by the Colts. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
They'll run on first down. Hines. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Now it's Hines. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Switch.
Now it's Locke. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions, and that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Well, once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Watson. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
95%. No, check his mic. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. 95 is Mike. Watch 95. Watch the run.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down. They will indeed snap it to Watson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
So this one winds up in India. And it wasn't really all